3 things you should consider before coming to the Philippines. Hello everyone, and welcome back. For those of you that are here for the first time, I want to invite you to click on the subscribe button and click on that bell notification icon so you can get notified whenever there is a fresh new Philippine video or a fresh new motivation tool as well. Today, I want to talk to you about 3 things you should consider before coming to the Philippines. 3 things you should consider before coming to the Philippines. Yeah. Now, when we talk about the Philippines, you understand this is a country where many people come every day, and they come for their various reasons. But one thing I've noticed, and I've been here almost 4 years, it'll be 4 years in December, is that people come here and they don't consider some very critical items. I got 3 things to share with you. Here's the first one. Before you come to the Philippines, make sure you consider the cultural differences. Yeah, there's a cultural difference in the Philippines. The Philippines is a land of sights and sounds, lakes, rivers, beautiful people, beautiful scenery, and it's not going to be just like the way the country you came from. It's a country that you can have city life on one side, and then you have the province life on the other side. And then there's some places where there's a blend of both in between. So you have to understand that when you come to the Philippines, there may not be the peaceful, quiet like you like it. There may be a lot of noise. Filipinos like a lot of noise. Lisa D and I are having an awesome time. It's smoky out here. Everybody down in the neighborhood subdivision, in the streets, and we're having a good time. We're having fun with the neighbors, and everybody's shooting fireworks, and it's a fun time. And you have to understand that, and you have to accept that issue when you come here. It's not going to be where you came from. Cultural differences is very, very critical when you come to the Philippines. Just because they speak English doesn't mean that they're going to be just like where you came from. You came from an English-speaking country. They speak Tagalog. They speak Cebuanish, which is a combination of English and Tagalog, and a combination of English and Cebuano. So it's not going to be perfect English, okay? Broken English. So understand, when you consider coming to the Philippines, there will be cultural differences that you have to make adjustments to. Second, not only should you make the adjustments to cultural differences, but you gotta understand, before you come to the Philippines, you need to understand that the laws here are going to vary from where you came from. Yeah, the laws in this country are specific to the people in this country, and they don't necessarily relate to the laws in your country. The laws in this country are very, very strict. And when you come to this country, you're gonna have to abide by the laws of this country. And you just can't say, well, I'm an American. No, you're gonna be an American all day, but you have to, if you're in the Philippines, you have to abide by the Filipino code of law. The rule of law in the Philippines applies to anyone that's in the Philippines. Whether you're American, whether you're Russian, it doesn't matter. The rule of law applies for the people in this country, resident or alien. And for you to just, if you get in trouble here and you say, I'm an American citizen, I want the U.S. Embassy, forget about it. The U.S. Embassy may come and check and see how you're doing, but that's it. They don't have a lot of pull in this country, because if you violate a law in this country, you're on your own, buddy. I can tell you about many cases where I have seen people get in trouble, Americans get in trouble here in this country, and they sit in jail. And for God's sake, please, the last place you want to be is a Filipino jail cell. Yeah, that's the last. You think that the United States has some bad places? You think the United States has some bad prisons? The prisons in the United States are 5-star hotels compared to the prisons in the Philippines. I did a story one time where a guy was locked up for 5 years. An American was locked up for 5 years in a Filipino jail cell on some trumped up charges. So today I want to talk to you about Scott McMahon, American national, 45 years old, born and raised Kent, Washington. Went to the Philippines to meet his true love. Began a life in the Philippines, in the Muntinlupa area. Had 2 children, began a business, construction business, bought a home in the Philippines. One day, children playing, and they reported to Dad that the neighbor threatened him, and the dad became enraged. He said, "My kids are traumatized." He filed a report against his neighbor. He went, and the neighbor became enraged. So, what happened after that? One day, the guy comes home from work, from his construction business. All of a sudden, there's a bam on the door, and it's the PNP, Philippine National Police, and they handcuff him. Scott protested, "I'm American, what are you doing? What have I done?" To no avail. They advised him that he was accused by his neighbor of rape. So he was taken off to the Muntinlupa City Jail. There he stayed there for 5 long years on trumped up charges in a Philippine jail cell. All because someone didn't like how he spoke to them. Someone didn't like how he reacted to them. Someone didn't like him defacing them down. Yeah. The only thing they did, they accused him of molesting a woman, and it was his neighbor. And it was I'll leave the notes, I'll leave a link in the description of this video so you can check it out. But the last place you want to be is a Filipino jail cell. They're overcrowded, they have filled with diseases, and people are sleeping on top of each other. Literally sleeping on top of each other. So for 5 long years, Scott was in a city jail in Muntinlupa. And if you don't know anything about the Philippine jail cell, Philippines penal system, let me refresh your memory for those that know, and let me advise you for those that don't know. Philippine jail cells, you got to deal with rats, you got to deal with roaches, you got to deal with other inmates, and the stench is unimaginable. You have to sleep on the floor. There's no beds, and in the penal system in the Philippines is a 386% overcrowding capacity limit right now. In the jail cell that Scott was in, he was there. The jail was designed for 4,000 inmates. Currently has 21,000 inmates. So you can imagine, they've got inmates sleeping on top of each other. So know the laws and respect the laws before you come to this country. Last thing is, whenever you come to the Philippines, before you come to the Philippines, you should consider the fact that if you're involved with a female here, you should make sure that you do not disrespect the female. Because the laws in this country, if you're a foreigner, you can be arrested for molesting a person or even being accused of molesting a person. So you should be very careful when you're dealing with Filipino women out here. I've seen many people that have been in jail simply because they were accused of doing something illegal with a Filipino woman. And I've seen people in jail for doing something illegal. You come out here and try to rough up a Filipina and she calls the police on you, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be in jail until they decide to let you go. Now, this is not like America where you say, well, they have to have a warrant and they have to have a warrant for my arrest and they have to have. The only thing that woman needs to say is you touched her. And you're in jail until they decide to let you out. They have the people, the Filipinos here in this country have the right to detain anyone for any reason. And you don't have to have evidence. You just have to have someone say you did something. And they can detain you. I've seen a guy been detained for 5 years in a Philippine jail cell. 5 years? It's a long time. And he was recently let out last year. So those are the things I want you to consider before you come to the Philippines. Question for the day. What do you believe is the most critical action item to consider before coming to the Philippines? I want to know your thoughts about it. Remember to subscribe, like, and share the video. This is Bobby D saying take care. God bless. Peace.